Everyone, good morning. Can anyone confirm audible or not? So, where we stopped in the last session, what we discussed last few days, couple of days, we didn't take the sessions, right? So, last Friday, I guess, our last session. So, where we stopped that time, we discussed about the functions, right? How to create a function with parameters, function without parameters, and function return value and without return value also we discussed or not. Yes or no? So anyone have any questions so far? We discussed about return value or not? Return keyword are we discussed or not discussed? Hmm? Return keyword. Okay, here if you observe, okay, I think only function definition we completed, without parameters we completed, and with parameter also we not done, right? Okay, no issues. Let's go. So I have one small question. Okay, let's do it. I want to write a function, okay, which should find the sum of, okay, any two numbers, sum of any two numbers different, sum of two numbers are different, sum of two numbers, for example 10 20, it's like a hard coded or not. Okay, sum of two numbers. Okay, sum of two numbers. So how we can write the function in Python? Using which keyword we can write the function in Python? Def is the keyword. After that, you can write the function name. Any name you can put it. Function representation. The next one is like, okay, start the block. Now can you write the statements? How we can say these statements are belongs to this block? By following the indentation or not. N1 equals to 10, N2 equals to 20, and my sum equals to N1 plus N2, and you can, okay, write print the sum. This is the way you can create a function sum or not. Now tell me, inside this sum how many statements are there? After this colon, how many statements in the sequence order follow the indentation? First one followed the indentation, so that this statement belongs to, this statement belongs to, okay, this statement belongs to this block. This one also followed the indentation, this one also, this one also, so syntactically 100% valid. For example, in between, if I write something like this is sum. These two statements in the sequence order follow the indentation, but this particular statement is not followed the indentation. Whenever the statement break the following the indentation, okay, it means the block closed here. So how many statements are there in the block? Here the statement not followed the indentation, so that up to here only the statements inside this block or not. So there has two statements inside the sum, and this is outside that block, that's okay. What about this one? Any statement followed the indentation outside the block, it gives me indentation error or not. It gives me indentation error. Any statement followed, okay, any statement if you write without following indentation outside the block, then that time you can get the indentation error. You can get the indentation error. Got my point? So in this case you can get like a indentation error or not. Okay now, one statement followed the indentation means that statement should belongs to one block. But here print followed the indentation. Indentation is nothing but, okay, left side from here my statements, okay, I'm going to write the statements from here. Okay, you're given like some spaces, one tab space. So this statement I can say like in Python followed the indentation. This is followed the indentation, but this is not under the block. Why? Because the block terminated here itself. So this is outside the block. Any statement, okay, outside the block which followed the indentation, then that time you can get the indentation error. Okay. Now, if I write like this, syntactically valid or invalid? Syntactically valid or invalid? This is my block started in the sequence order. If you see, this is inside the block, this is inside the block, my block terminated, done. That's okay. These two statements are belongs to this block. What about this one? This is not followed the indentation, so no problem at all. Okay, this is also not followed the indentation, no problem at all. Syntactically 100% correct. Why? Because these statements inside the block, this statement not followed the indentation, okay, outside the block only, no problem. Followed the indentation outside the block, there has a problem. Not followed the indentation outside the block, no problem. Okay, now here not followed the indentation outside the block only, no problem. Syntactically 100% correct. But if you run, if I execute, for example, this one inside one Python file 1.py, if I execute this one, what exactly the error was? What exactly the error was? You can get a name error. Okay, can anyone tell me? Name n1 is not defined or not? Okay, why? Because this particular function loaded. Okay, if you come to this statement, sum n1 plus n2, it is looking for n1. Is there any n1 is there? Yes, there, but that is inside the function. Outside the function, no. This n1 scope is inside the sum function. Outside this one, we are not able to use. So okay, at the time of okay, function scope, okay, that means variable scope, we'll discuss that one. N1 inside the function, I am using outside that function. Okay, the n1 scope is inside this function only. I can use n1 in the sum function, not outside. But you are using outside, right? So that I am looking for n1, but that n1 is not there, so you can get the name error, n1 is not defined. Understood? Syntactically valid, but at the time of running you can get the runtime error, that is name error, name n1 is not defined. Okay, now if I write like this, syntactically valid or invalid, these three statements in the sequence order followed the indentation that is inside this block. No problem. Syntactically, this is a function. Now here, print sum. Print sum. You are looking for sum. Okay, first of all, syntactically valid or invalid. This is not followed the indentation outside the block. Yes, 100% valid. Followed the indentation outside the block, invalid. Not followed the indentation outside the block, valid. So we are looking for sum. Okay, here also sum, here also sum. Okay, don't use like that. Okay, can I say like a result? Can I say like a result? I'm looking for result. That result is there or not there? I'm looking for the result name. Yes, result name is there, but is inside the function. So outside this function, I am not able to use this result. So looking for result, but that result is not found outside the function. Okay, here okay, I'm looking for result, but that result is not there. So that you can get again the name error is what? Result. Name result is not defined or not. Not the point. Okay, now if I write something like this, tell me now these four statements are belongs to this block. Yes, this is like syntactically 100% valid. Syntactically 100% valid. Now my question is, whenever you have a function, what you can do? You can call it. So how we can call? With the name we can call it or not? Whenever I call this particular function body, how many statements are there? Those statements are going to execute or not? First statement, created one variable with the value 10, create another variable with the value 20. Now the variable have okay n1 10, n2 20. just find sum and you printed the result. That's it. So syntactically, at the same time, at the runtime also, all the statements are executing as expected. So finally, whenever you call, you can get the output is like what? You can get the output is like what? Okay, 30 or not. Okay, now. So far, can anyone tell me some errors, some error names? Tell me. So far, what kind of errors while practicing you got it? Anyone? While practicing, what kind of, hey, I saw this error, I fixed it like this, like that, what kind of errors you got it? What kind of errors you got it? Okay, one is like name error. Okay, frequently you can see this kind of error. When you can get this error? When you can get this error, you are looking for one name, that name is not find in that particular scope, then you can get the name error. Another one is like, if you not follow the syntactical rules, you can get the syntax errors or not. If you not find, okay, if you not follow, okay, this kind of syntactical rules, if you not follow, each and every language has their own rules, has their own guidelines, right? Then that time you can get this syntax error. Name error and syntax error. Indentation error also you can get it. Indentation error also sometimes you can get it or not. Indentation error also. So far you saw these errors or not. In future there has multiple errors, multiple exceptions you can see. We'll see that one. Okay, we'll see that one. Okay, then the next one is like, my sum has two, okay, has, okay, two variables. Some function has two variables and find the sum. That's okay. But my question is like, this is not my question. My question is, I want to find the sum of any two numbers. Let a function which should find sum of any two numbers. Any two numbers. But here it's find the sum of exactly 10, 20 only. But my requirement is like sometimes 10, 20, sometimes 30, 40, like that. Okay, then how? Then how?
We can take the function with parameters.
Yeah, that time, okay, we can take the function with parameters. Okay, let's take this one only. See, the first person requires find the sum of two numbers. Those are 10, 20. So you hard coded 10, 20 here. The second person also want to find the sum of 10, 20 only. So that 10, 20 you hard coded. Like this 10 persons all are required the sum of 10, 20 only. But now, okay, their requirement got changed. Like they want their own numbers. Okay, first person requires the sum of 2 comma 3, second person requires sum of 10 comma 20, and the third person another number, fourth person another number. Now tell me, if they have their own numbers, this particular function satisfied their requirement or not? No, right? Now if I use still this function only, 2 3 sum they want to find, their expected result is like 5, but they can get like what, 30 or not? Here their expected result is like a 30. That's okay, 30 you can get it. My third person also there, he want to find the sum of 100 comma 200. Now here what happened, expecting 300, but you can get like 30 or not. This is satisfied only second person, remaining all get the unexpected outputs or not. So can you do one thing? This person requires 2 3 sum, right? Can you ask him, okay, which numbers you want to find the sum? Okay, those numbers only, can you, okay, get it from them? This person requires find the sum of 2 3, right? Can you ask 2 3 values, so that if you give me the 2 3 values, I can find the sum or not? Now tell me, here you are calling sum, right? Instead of calling sum without any values, can you pass your own values? Now tell me how we can pass, where the scope, where is the space? Okay, here you can pass it. Okay, either here you can pass it. Okay, either here you can pass it, either here you can pass it, right? Yes or no? This is only the scope or not? Now, these all are like invalid syntaxes. Now, whenever you want to pass the data to this particular function, okay, you can pass the data to the function like this. Okay, when you can pass the data to the function means, okay, while while calling the function, we can pass the data or not. We can pass the data to that function. While calling the function only, we can pass the data. Now, tell me, this is the syntax of calling the function or not? This is the syntax of calling the function or not? While calling the function, we can pass the data. This is the syntax to call the function. Yes or no? Now tell me, you are calling what? Sum. So first, here two sections are there. Now see, sum is one section, calling is one section. Okay. Now, for example, here sum1 is there. If I execute this statement, okay, any statement, the statement how big it was, it's not a matter. Just split that statement. Okay, this statement, if you split, okay, two sections you can split it: sum and calling. First section is what? Sum. It is looking for sum. Sum there or not there? Sum there or not there? In that particular scope, in that particular area, sum is there or not there? Not there, right? If one name I am looking for, that name is not there, then you can get what kind of error? Name sum is not defined or not. What is the error? You can get it. Name sum is not defined. Whenever you get the error, it's not think about the next level statements. Next section, okay, it is not execute. So sum is not there. That the reason, okay, you can get the error is like what? Sum is not okay defined. Name sum is not defined. Now sum is there or not there? Now sum is there or not there? Yes, sum is there. Whenever the sum is there, it go to the next section. You can add this section. Now, whenever you add it, this is what? Calling it is calling or not. You are calling what? Sum. What you can call in any programming language, the statement, okay, is this one. What we can call, okay, which members we can call? Which members we can call? Functions, right? Okay, numbers we can call strings we can call we can use it, lists we can call we can call the functions, or we can call the methods which are inside the class. So you are doing what here? Sum with this braces, if you see in any programming language, is nothing but calling. Sum you are calling. Okay, so my sum should be what? You are calling sum means sum should be what? Come on. Sum should be what? A is this one.
Function.
Okay, here you are calling A. Yes, no. You are calling A. Yes or no? Yes. So what we can call? What we can call? Which members we can call? Functions. So you are calling A means A should be what? So A should be what? A function or not? Yes or no? Here you are calling what? Come on, this statement, what it is telling? This statement, what it is telling? You are calling F1 or not? Yes or no? You are calling F1. See, this statement, general statement for any programming language. Okay, leave it Python, leave it Java. Okay, just okay, any programming language you can take. If you see this statement somewhere in your mind, you have to think like you are calling Fn. You are calling Fn. You are calling Fn means already one statement is there. What we can call functions we can call. You are calling Fn means Fn should be what? Vice versa. Fn should be what? A function or not? Yes or no? So that here you are calling what? F1. You are calling F1. Yes. So my F1 should be what? Should be what? Come on, Fn should be a function or not? My fn should be a function. Yes or no? My fn should be a function. General statement, don't think more. So here, this statement you can see. What you can understand this statement. Okay, what do you think about this one? You are calling what? What you are calling? Here, what you are calling? Sum, right? You are calling sum. So that my sum should be what? Function. So here, my sum is a function or not? Tell me, my sum is a function or not? Yes or no? My sum is a function. It's a function in Python or not? Yes or no? Now, my sum you are calling, so that my sum should be a function. Yes, first step, pass or not. See how many sections, one by one we can get. Looking for sum, there or not there? Yes, there. Passed first section. Second section, you are calling sum, so that my sum should be a function. Yes, my sum is a function or not. See, now the think about the whole syntax. Sum is a function. Second section also, okay. My sum you are calling, okay. My sum you are calling by passing how many values? How many values you passed? Two values. Whenever you passed some values to the function while calling, those values you have to hold it or not. Somebody giving some values to you, so that you have to, okay, somebody giving something, you have to hold it or not, you have to take it or not. Here also, the first person giving the values to my sum, so that you have to hold it. So how we can hold the values which are coming to my sum? As like a arguments. How you can hold the data which is coming to my sum while calling? While calling, they passed some data, right? That data comes to my sum, right? How we can hold it? As like a arguments. So how many values are coming? Two values. So that how many arguments you want? Two, n1 comma n2. So here I don't want to hard code now, just remove it. My first value is like what? 2. My 2 go to or hold with what? N1. So my N1 value is like 2. The next one is like 3. My N2 value is like 3. So sum N1 plus N2 print sum. Okay, you can get like output is like 5. Now come to this one. Come to this one. This person requires to find the sum of what? 1020. So that can I pass 1020? Okay, here this person requires what? 100 and 200 or not? Can I pass like 100 and 200? Yes or no? Okay, so multiple points you have to remember. One is like step by step you can come. If you see this statement like this, is nothing but you are calling f1. Whenever you calling f1 means my f1 should be a function or not? My f1 should be a function. Okay, how to pass the data to the function? When we can pass the data to the function? When you can pass the data to the function? When?
Calling.
While calling. While calling or not? Okay, how to hold the data coming to my function? How to hold the data which is coming to my function as a arguments or not? As like a arguments or not? Yes or no? Got my point? How many values you can pass to the function? How many values can pass to the function? Any number, right? Any number. While calling the function, you can pass any number of values. Understood? Up to here, okay? Function with the parameters. Function with the parameters. Now there has, okay, these are the arguments, right? With the arguments or with parameters, your wish. These are the arguments, right? Now we are going to discuss something like these arguments, different types we have. One is like, okay, arguments types in Python. Arguments types in Python. One is like, that is tomorrow's discussion. One is like positional arguments. Positional arguments. Another one is like default arguments. Another one is like keyword arguments. The next one is like variable length arguments. The next one is like keyword variable length arguments. Keyword variable length arguments. There has different types of arguments are there. Okay, these are the arguments. That's okay, fine, but there has different types of arguments are there. Okay, one is like positional, default, keyword argument, variable length argument, and keyword variable length argument. These are the 5 types of arguments are there. We'll discuss that one in the next session. So let's do practicals. Let me open our workspace folder. So from your end, you completed the setup or not? If you not completed, just complete it. If you're stuck with something, just let us know so we can help you. This is your son. This is yours only, no? Up to your hours only, right? Okay, these are completed, right? The next one is like function with the parameter. Function with the parameter. So can I write like, okay, functions, sixth one. Okay, you can open this, you can see the purpose. Okay, that means this particular program related to what, that one you can write in the comment. Write a function which take player name as argument and print. Write a function which take player name as an argument and print that value, whatever he passed, and print that argument value. This is my requirement. Let's go write it. Write a function which take player name as an argument. Tell me how we can write a function. Def is my keyword. The next one, def is my keyword. Function name, any name you can give it. Give the proper name. Print player name. Can I write like this? Any problem? Print player name. The next one is what? Come on. Function representation. Okay, the next one, start block. Now here I want to tell there has no statements in the function. How we can tell? By using which keyword? Pass is the key. As per my requirement, write a function which take player name as an argument or not. So can I write the name here? How we can write? Just you can write like a name. So can you tell me Python is like a case sensitive or not? Python is like a case sensitive programming language or not? Yes, it's a case sensitive. Okay, Python is like a type strict or not? Python is like a type strict or not? No, it's not a type strict. Okay, if it is like a type strict, now see this name, you have to mention some type or not. So this name, you have to mention some type, but in Python, in JavaScript, there is no type for the variables. This is not like a type of strict programming language like Java. Okay, not like Java. Java is like a type strict. Okay, it is not type strict like JavaScript. Okay, na? So tell me, he want to print that one or not? Just he want to print that name. Done. If you write a function, there is no use. What you have to do? If you have a function in your hand, what you have to do?
Call it.
Call it or not? How we can call a function? With the name, right? With the name. So can I call like this? Print player name. If I call like this with capital P, what exactly the error was? What exactly the error was? Come on,
Missing one positional argument.
check properly.
Int player name is not a function.
No,
Syntax error.
no.
Print player is not defined.
Yeah, name print player is not defined, right? Why? Because you are looking for capital P, na? It's like a case sensitive, I said, right? You are looking for capital P print player name. Do we have any that kind of name in this particular scope? Do you have that? No, right? Okay, so that you can get like what error? Okay, name print player is not defined or not? Yes or no? Okay, now
Missing one positional argument.
now print player name, take one argument. Are you passing the data? Are you passing the data? No, so that you can get the error. You can get the error. What error? Can you read it? Type error. See, this positional argument, this word, this terminology already I written, I used here. See, positional argument. We not yet discussed. You can get some more idea in tomorrow's session. Okay, but one thing you have to remember, this guy is expecting one argument, but you not passed or not given, so that it gives me an error or not. So you are expecting in Python, one function is expecting some parameters or arguments, means you have to pass the values or not. If you not pass the value, you can get this kind of error. We can get more idea about this terminology in tomorrow's session. For now, just remember the statement is what? In Python, one function is expecting some values, means, okay, 1 or 2 or 3, that's not a matter. How many values it is expecting, that many values you have to pass it. That statement you can remember at this moment. Okay, na? Now, if I write like this, valid or invalid? If I write like this, valid or invalid? If I write like this, valid or invalid?
Valid.
100% valid, right? But okay, you can ask a question. Hey, here name, in my mind, I'm thinking like name is nothing but Sachin, Dhoni, like that. You pass like 10, it's like a number. But in Python, do we have the type for the variables? No, right?
No.
It can hold any kind of data or not. That the reason it is like 100% valid statement. But as per your requirement here, you can pass like a player name, right? So you can pass the player name. Understood? Got my point? So for good. Okay, so the next one is like write a function, okay, to find the sum of any two numbers. Write a function to find the sum of any two numbers. Write a function to find the sum of any two numbers. Okay, tell me the function, any two numbers. Tell me.
def function.
Def.
Yeah, def,
Function name.
your function name, function name.
Representation.
Okay, any two numbers, right? So you are expecting like two numbers or not? Okay, two arguments you can write. Okay, here if you want write one more variable, you can write it. That is your wish. That is your wish. And then can I print my sum? Can I print my sum? Okay. Now, if I write, if I execute this one, it's a valid syntax or invalid syntax? Syntax I'm asking. Syntactically valid or invalid?
Valid.
100% valid. Why? Because this is my block. Okay. The next statement followed the indentation in the sequence order. So this statement is belongs to this block. My block should contains minimum one statement at least pass. So no problem. The next one is like, okay, not followed the indentation. At the same time, it is outside the block only. No problem at all. So syntactically valid. But if I run this one, this program, what exactly the error was?
Name error, sum is not defined.
Okay, sum is not defined or not. Okay, sum is not defined. But if you observe here, my sum already defined, right? Already defined or not? See, you used like, we should not use like sum. Okay, the same name again. If you check for the sum, already sum is there now. Here again you use it like sum. That the reason, don't use like a duplicate members or not. Yes or no? So result, you can write like a result here. Now tell me, result is there or not there? I'm looking for the result that is inside the sum, but I am looking for the result. I am where I am, inside the sum or outside the sum? Where I am
Outside.
So I'm looking for the result outside only. Okay, where I am, okay, there only I'm going to looking for that particular name. I'm looking for the result outside the sum. So there are not there, not there. So that you can get the error is like what? Name result is not defined. Name result is not defined. Okay, na? Now, for example, here, this one is there. Valid or invalid? If you run this one, if you run this one, valid or invalid? Now the result is enclosed, right, with the string. Whenever it is enclosed with the string, it's like a general, okay, static value. Value we can print it or not. First, you are looking for one name means, okay, that name should refer, okay, it's like a variable, should be variable. Now here the difference, if you observe, print result and this result, if you see the difference, this is already the string value. So that string value directly we can print it or not? Directly we can print it. But here it is not a string value, it's a reference, right? It's like a holding some value. It's trying to hold some value. It is not directly value, it's a reference, it's a name. Okay, result is like a name, but this one is like already one value. It's a string value or not? So if you comment this one, if you comment, okay, this one, now it is going to print like what? Simply result it is going to print. It's a string value, directly it's printed or not? Yes or no? If I remove this one, now it is a value na reference? It is a value or it is refers to some value? It is refers to some value. Okay, so that it is looking for the result. Now it is not a value, it's like one name. It is looking for this particular name. There or not there? Not there. So that name result is not defined error. You can get it. Understood? Got my point? Okay, now this is my sum. Can I write like my sum 10 comma 20? Will it work or not work? You have a function, okay, you can call that function. You can call that function. Okay, na? Up till okay, everyone? So for good? Any questions? Okay, you have to practice, then only you can get the next one. Yeah. So I'm going to write some code. You only tell the errors, okay? Exact error tell me. If I run this one, exact error.
F1 is not defined.
Perfect. Now, if you run this, you can get the error is like what? F1 is not defined. Can you elaborate more? How you say? Name F1 is not defined. Line number 3 is the statement, right? Can you split this statement? Yes. Now, first statement is this one. It is a value, no reference. It's a value or name. If it is enclosed with something like this, it's a value. But now it's a value or it's a name. It's a reference. Come on, value reference. It's a reference. So it's a name. It is looking for that particular name. There or not there? Before this F1, no? F1 name is there or not there?
Not there.
Not there. If it is not there, I'm looking for the name F1 that is not defined or not. So you can get the error. Okay, now? Okay, then. Now tell. Now tell. What exactly the error was?
F1 is not a function.
F1 is not a function. Perfect. Very simple statement. Okay, easy to understand. Line number 3, if you see somewhere in any programming language, okay, you are like a Java developer, .NET developer, whatever it is. If you see line number 3, what you can understand about that? What you can understand about this statement? I can understand in my mind it is running like calling F1 or not. Yes or no? Any programming language, if you see this statement, I can say calling what you're calling F1 or not. Okay, what we can call? This is a general statement in any programming language. What we can call? We can call a functions or methods or not. Here you are calling F1 means the F1 should be what? Already calling. Okay, you are calling functions. Okay, that is a general statement. You are calling F1 means my F1 should be what? Come on. You are calling F1 means my F1 should be what? Should be a function or not? Yes or no? Perfect. Okay, now come here. Okay, two sections again. F1, no, F1 and call. Two sections. First section F1. F1 there or not there? First. F1 defined or not defined?
Not there.
Defined.
Defined, right? See, F1 is there. F1 you defined. F1 defined. F1 name is there. Yes, F1 defined. So that no error like name F1 is not defined. That kind of error will not get it. Okay. Now F1 is defined, right? So merge next section. Now, if I merge this section, the total section you can total statement you can tell. You are calling what? F1. You are calling F1. Calling F1. If you calling F1 means F1 should be what? Come on. You are calling F1 means F1 should be what? Function.
Function.
Can you tell me my F1 is a function? F1 is like integer.
Integer.
Integer, right? My F1 is a integer. Now tell me, is my integer is a function?
No.
No, right? No, right? So you can call a functions, that is valid statements. Can I call integers? Integers are callable?
Not callable.
Not callable, right? So exact error, tell me anyone? Exact error, tell me. Come on, exact error. Can you read it?
Int object is not callable.
Type error only. Integer object is not callable. It is not gives me an error like name is not defined. That kind of error not. Now this time integer object is not callable. Why I am asking you to remember these all? Okay, you know. See, this kind of statement you may not write in future in your program. But if you get this kind of errors, okay, you can understand like you are looking for what? One function, but you received like instead of function one integer or not. Like that you have to understand and go and fix that particular issue. Understood everyone? If you understand this particular statement, Integer object is not callable. Okay, this statement tells you like you are like okay, not callable integer means you are calling something. They are expecting a function, but received what? Integer or not? Yes or no? They are expecting a function, but they received integer value or not? Yes or no? So that you have to go and fix why I'm expecting a function, why I'm receiving like a integer instead of function. Like that, you have to fix it or not? Yes or no? Got my point? Got my point, everyone? Okay, then now what do you think?
String object is not callable.
Yeah, simple. Okay, this time this is not changed. You are calling what? F1. You are calling F1 means F1 should be function, but F1 is a function or stringer. F1 is a function or string. Here, this
String.
guy is expecting F1 as a function. Before that, my F1 defined like what? String. Here, I am expecting a function, but they define it like a string. So that is my string is a function. No. Can I call my string? No. So that you can get like what? String object is not callable or not. Wherever you see not callable means they are expecting a function they received other than function or not. They are expecting a function they received what? Other than function or not. Got my point? Okay, so there has one more error. Can we write here? What is that error? Come on, what is that error?
Type error.
Type error is not callable. Type error only. Okay, parameters are mismatching, arguments are mismatching, then that time also you can get the type error or not. Got my point? Up here, okay? Okay, then the next one, I'm going to write one statement here. Just you can explain, justify that statement. Python is a dynamically typed programming language. Python is dynamically typed programming language. Okay, this is the statement. Okay, this is like a valid statement only. Okay, just justify. Hey, you are right. Python is like correct. Okay, it's a dynamically typed programming language only. Compare with other languages which are not dynamically typed programming language and tell me. Okay, show me. Okay, yes, this is dynamically typed programming language. It is not like that. That is my question. Python is dynamically typed programming language, but Java not. Why? Okay, why means there is no reasons. The inbuilt structure is like that. But okay, just at least justify. Okay, inbuilt structure is like that only. But because of this reason, we can say Java is not dynamically typed programming language. Python is like dynamically typed programming language. Got my point? My question? Okay. Let's go then. First of all, let's come to Java. Very simple. In Java, if you want to create one variable to hold 100, how we can create a variable, you know? Okay, data type and the variable name and the variable value. This is in Java. In Python, if you want to create a variable, there is no data type. Okay, simply you can create a variable like this or not. Yes or no? Come on. Okay. Now in Java, the variables, see, the variables are used for what? To store the data, I said. If you want to store some data, if you want to keep something, first of all, some space is required, right? I given one item to you. If you want to keep somewhere, one space, some location, some space is required or not. So here 100 is the value. If you want to store that value, some space is required or not, some memory is required or not. Yes or no? In Java, the memory allocated for this particular 100 value, how you know? Based on the type. What is the type here? Type of the variable is what? Integer, right? Int. Okay, there has multiple data types are there in Java. Okay, short to byte to int to long like that. Okay, that's not our discussion. Here, integer is my data type. In Java, for integer data type variable, they allocated how much memory, you know, 4 bytes memory they are going to allocate based on the data type. If it is like long, 8 bytes. If it is like a string, 8 bytes. If it is like short, 2 bytes. Like that, they are going to allocate some memory based on the data type. Now tell me, the data type is like integer. That's the reason the memory, how much allocated in Java? Come on, 4 bytes memory. Okay, 4 bytes memory got allocated. It's like limited space or unlimited? Limited or unlimited? It's like limited, right? I specified like 4 bytes. 4 bytes means it's like a limited space or not. Okay, there has some spaces there. If you want to keep one item in that particular location, first of all, what you know, that location address is required or not? Okay, some Amirpet, Hyderabad, some address is required or not? So that address, that memory location address is nothing but your variable name. Okay, the variable name, whatever the memory allocated, whatever the space allocated, that space name is required. That name is what? Your variable name is nothing but it's an address. Okay, if you know the address of the location, you can go and keep your item or not? Yes or no? So once you have the address and memory allocated, and address also, if you know, this particular value is nothing but 100, you can keep or not? Yes or no? In this particular discussion, first memory got allocated and then the value placed or not? Yes or no? The statement true or not? When memory allocated first, yes, no? Based on the data type, if you come to this order, left to right, first memory got allocated. First memory got allocated. To that particular memory, they are going to give some name, okay, address. After that, they are going to add the value or not? Yes or no? First memory allocated and then placed the value or not? Got my point? Agreed, everyone?
Yes.
Okay, okay then. Now, come here. Let me delete it. Again, I'm going to write in Java only. Int my amount equals to something like this. Int my amount equals to something like this. Yes. Now tell me, variable, the value, whatever it may be, the procedure is like same. First, what happened? Based on the data type, how much memory got allocated?
4 bytes.
4 bytes. Okay, first memory got allocated. Okay, how much memory allocated? 4 bytes memory allocated. That memory location is what? Okay, the memory name, I mean address is what?
Amount.
Amount or not? This is my address or not? In that particular address, okay, I know the address, I can go to that address. In that particular location, okay, my value, I want to keep it or not? Yes or no? I want to keep this value or not? Now tell me, the memory you only said, it's like a limited space. In that limited space, can I keep this much big number? Is it possible? Is it possible? Tell me, first of all. It is exceeded or not? Yes or no? Memory is enough for this particular value to store? Memory is enough? No, right? So here the case is, what I'm trying to say is, in Java, the memory got allocated first and then you are going to try to place some value. Okay, if the value is like big, then that time you can get the error is like integer number too long. That kind of error you can get it. Let me show you that. Let's go to our editor. Let's go to Java. Okay, let me create one simple, okay, variable amount equals to 1000. Now here, let me print it. Yes, Okay, my 1000 I can keep it. Okay, no problem at all. Okay, it's like 1000 I can keep it. For example, if you have a big number like this, now if I, sorry, the amount, right, not 1000. Okay, you have to keep like 1000. Now see, it's like executing or not. Now for example, if you have a big number, can I store in the 4 bytes memory? Can I store in the 4 bytes memory? Is it like enough space? No, right? What is the error you can get it? Integer number too large. This error you can get it or not. Okay. Now come to Python. Come to Python. In Python, do we have the type for the variables? Do we have the type for the variables? Tell me.
No.
No type, right? No type. So if you run this one, simply my amount is like 100 printed. Now here, if I write this much big number, now see this. Now this is also executed or not. Now come to the Python discussion. In Python, how we can create a variable? In Python, how we can create a variable? Simply amount equals to something like this or not. Now, do we have any type for these variables like Java? No, there is no type. So they not allocate the memory first. Whenever you are trying to use this amount, that time, how much value? Tell me, how much value here? How much value is here? 1000, right? This 1000 requires how much memory? That much memory they allocate dynamically. Whenever you are trying to use this amount, the value, how much big it was, it's not a matter. Okay, dynamically, how much required, that much memory they are going to allocate. Now here, the amount equals to this much big number is there. This much big number is there. Okay, let's take this one. This much big number is there. Now whenever you are using this amount, first it is looking for the value. Okay, this is my value. This value requires how much memory? That much memory dynamically it is going to allocate. That much memory dynamically it is going to allocate. Got my point? So here the memory allocated first, it is going to allocate dynamically how much it required in Python. Tell me, to that particular value, not allocated the memory first. Whenever you are trying to use how much required, on the spot only they are going to allocate the memory for that particular value or not. Yes or no? That the reason. Did you get any error here? See, this much big number is there. Did you get any error? Why? Because no. Why? Because this number requires how much memory? That much memory they allocated dynamically or not. So that we can say my Python is like what? Come on. My Python is like what? Dynamically typed programming language or not? Got my point? Understood my statement?
Yes.
Why Java not? Why? Because Java allocated the memory first and then trying to place the value. They not allocated the memory dynamically. Okay, but Python dynamically how much memory required, that much memory allocated. How much big it was, it's not a matter or not. So that Python is like a dynamically typed programming language. Understood, everyone? Hello, okay? Okay. Any other questions, anyone? Okay, then I'm going to stop here for today. Tomorrow we can continue this one. Just practice all, try to get multiple errors and try to fix those errors. That is only the way of practicing. Okay, use the editors. Okay, if you not have the setup, don't stop practicing. Use editors. In the editor also you can do practice, and you can use Google Colab also. It's like online editor, online notebook. You can use Google Colab, whatever it may be. Okay, don't think like in my mission Python not installed. Okay, after 1 week I'm going to install and I'm going to start the practice. Don't think like that. Just use editors. Okay, online editors and cloud, just you can use for practicing purpose. Okay. Okay, then thank you guys. Thanks for joining. Hey, Java people, today also I'm not able to take the session due to my office work. Okay, tomorrow onwards we can continue Java. Okay. Java guys.
Okay, sir. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.